Bismillah, salatu wasalam, Rasulullah. Next session will be about local program requirements and acceptance. D.Faddi Menshi, he will conduct this session. He's the Director of Postgraduate Medical Education and Saudi Commission for Health Specialties. If you have any questions, just write it. At the end of the session, we will have time to have your questions. Okay?
طيب الله صوت عالي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Very nice small group. وش فيكم برا بعيدين هناك؟ قدموا. Will be more of a discussion هنا. كلنا قريبين من بعض، حتى بلاش من الميكروفون إذا كان. لكن first of all, it's been honored always to be at الإمام University. This is my second time here, and it's good to see the people. Probably 3 weeks ago, I was in Malqura University. Yesterday, the week before in Qasim. Yesterday in Al Faisal University. Today, Imam University. And it's good to see the people that are future customers. We'll be seeing you more and more, inshallah, in the future. What I understand is that most of you are interns. Yesterday in Al Faisal, there was, which is very, very, very promising. There were some year one students from different years, plus interns. But it looks like this event is focused on interns. Shukran, Dr. Allah Yasadik. So, your next journey, to keep it short, it's a Saturday, everyone wants to go back home. طبعا احنا عندنا تصريح لازم نرجع، فلازم نخلص في الوقت المحدد. The next journey. Currently you are either going into your internship, you'll be receiving, I hope it's still 10,000 riyals, but has it changed? تعرف بسعر البترول. I hope when you get into your internship, you'll still be 10,000 riyals or 9,000 something. Here today, your next journey after going into your internship and how you can make more money. You're not going to be stuck on the 10,000. So your career, this is not clear, Muhammad. Can this be more clear over here? The screen. Is it clear to everyone? Allah cinema Sara. Basically, you go through the 7 years of medical school. And King Saud bin Abdulaziz University, they have Stream 2 where you finish a graduate program and then you go into 4 years medical school. So more or less, the blue and green, this is where you are after you do your undergraduate studies. What we'll be talking about in your path to doctorhood is the residency training. The least program we have is a diploma, which is 2 years. And the most or the longest we have is cardiac surgery, which is 7 years. With regards to board, Saudi board. And then if you go on to your fellowship, that's another story. موجود. طيب الله يسلمك. So, your next journey, I know everyone wants to know what is the criteria for applying when we reach the Saudi board in January. What do we need to know to apply? Before that, I want to give you a sense of what you would expect with regards to numbers. And how easy is it to get into a program currently? Is it straightforward? I'm competing with 2,000. Mahma sawat, I'm going to get in. Regardless of, just to get a sense of the competition you're going into. Number one, you'd be applying to, these year statistics, 26 different specialties with regards to Saudi board programs. Training centers, nationwide, there are 91 centers that's more or less stand alone, plus hundreds of joint training programs. For example, family medicine training program in Riyadh. There are some training centers that are standalone, National Guard. But if you look at King Fahd Medical City, it's a joint training program in which you spend some time in King Fahd Medical City, some time, different rotations in different centers. And some of them are primary healthcare centers. How many cities are there? Yeah, that's okay. Let me just finish with the cities because there's some good news here. There are 21 different cities you'll be applying to. And we have one hospital in Jordan, which is accredited for Saudi board. That's part of your options. And for those who like Bahrain, we have 3 hospitals accredited with the Saudi board in Bahrain. So that's good news for who likes Bahrain. Is there anything in question with regards to this slide? تفضل. So joint programs, and as soon as you get into the program, it tells you this program is provided in National Guard, King Fahd Medical City, or joint program. You'd like to know how long it is, and yeah, probably I think we should post that somewhere on the website. It's still not posted. Yeah, it's still not posted. So 21 cities, Jordan, Bahrain. In Bahrain, they have 3 different hospitals, very nice hospitals. وفي سينما, ما في سينما. What's the timeline? The application timeline usually starts in January. So inshallah, you'll be going into your internship. January, be ready to apply. January until mid-February. That's when the application starts. Nomination day, mid-February. According to some criteria we have set, we would tell you, okay, you are nominated to join pediatrics in Riyadh or general surgery in Jeddah. After the nomination day, there's an interview period. So nationwide, there's a period where everyone goes for interviews, and then comes the match day, which I hope we'll be talking about today. We'll focus on whatever comes before the matching. This is the 2016 numbers. All the applicants from all the specialties, we had 6,850 applicants. In medicine, of course, that's a majority, 5,318 applicants. Salamatullah. Dentistry, and if you think medicine is competitive, look at dentistry. Dentistry, 1,177 applicants nationwide, and we have only 90 seats. And هذول كلهم 1,100, they were competing for 90 seats, 90 training seats. Other specialties, pharmacy, microbiology, technicians, 355. But let's focus on medicine, 5,318, which was this year. Next year, the numbers will go up. Good luck. The numbers, I expect them to be around 6,500. Seats will not increase as much as the graduates, because there are more graduates coming from the scholarship program, more graduates graduating from different schools, plus the pool that was not accepted this year, they're going to come next year and apply and compete with you. So good luck. It's getting more furious. How will you be nominated? Application period, and then there's the nomination day. So based on 3 criteria. Number 1, SMLE, Saudi Medical Licensing Exam, which holds 50% of a score. I'm sure most of you know this already. GPA 30%, portfolio submission 20%. Portfolio used to be called CV, and now it's called portfolio. So it's a different terminology, but portfolio is more appropriate than CV. One thing about SMLE, and I'll tell you from the experience of this year, some of your colleagues. So you start your internship, day 1, you have 4 chances within a year to pass the licensing exam. SMLE is not only required to enter into a postgraduate program, it's required for you to practice medicine. If you do not pass SMLE, you cannot practice in any hospital in the kingdom. So that's number 1. Number 2, some of your colleagues, you have 4 attempts to pass the exam within a year. Don't burn your attempts by registering in the morning on Tuesday and then coming on Thursday. You don't pass, coming on Thursday, taking the 2nd attempt. You only have 4 attempts. If you do not pass, you get a report that says this is you answered in anatomy 10 questions out of the 20. And take the report, do some learning, study. Use that report to improve whatever deficiencies you have, and then schedule another exam. Because if you burn all 4, your next test, if your last test was April 1st, 2016, your next test is April 1st, 2017. So use the 4 attempts wisely. Let's say you pass the test, you get 56. The pass is 50. 56, you have 2 attempts after you pass to improve your score, because it obviously holds some very good weight, 50%. And just I just came from the Saudi Commission, we had a meeting with the, oh man, you guys are going to get, your life is, probably for you now, but next generations, their life is going to get more and more miserable. We have a SMLE steering committee, or the licensing exam steering committee, and it has, there's Dr. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just came from the Saudi Commission right now, 5 deans representing all the medical schools. And we came, our aim was to sit and talk about how we could quality assurance of the current exam, how we can improve it. The first thing they came with, we need to have step 2 and step 3. So, but I said, okay, that's a long-term plan. There'll be an intermediate plan, but let's look at the short-term plan with regards to looking into the current exam. So life will get more difficult if there's any third-year medical students when they graduate. So this exam is being steered by your deans, medical school deans. This is not, Saudi Commission is a facilitator, but whatever you see in the exam with regards to the blueprint, with regards to the components, the weight that each specialty has, this is set by the deans of the medical schools. And they are the ones steering the exam. We provide them with the feedback. We tell them, look, this is the exam. These are the questions. This is how they're functioning. And they're the ones who recommend what to do with the questions. Right now, their other recommendation is coming out is, should the exam be every single day conducted? Anyway, these are things that are coming up with the SMLE. GPA 30%, portfolio submission. We'll talk about the components of the portfolio. So just to give you a sense of the portfolio, we've introduced this portfolio or CV 2 years ago. One of their criteria was publication. How many papers? If you publish a paper, you get 2 points. This year, 2016 applicants, there were 5,318 applicants from medical schools. 1,384 of those applicants had a published paper. Right now we're looking at quantity, we're not looking at quality. Whenever you start a new initiative, you probably focus on quantity first. So let me take you 1 year back, applicants of 2015. How many published papers would you guess they had? So this year, around 1,300. Just wild guess. Last year, how many were they? 200, 300, 82. So 2015, of the applicants who were more or less around 5,000 or more or less 100 plus or minus, there were only 82 publications. In 1 year, they jumped to 1,348 publications. I expect that number to increase more and more. So dentistry, they have a long way to go. 124 publications. They need to catch up. Probably next year we'll find that number in the thousands. Other specialties, it's proportionate to their number, 355, 13 out of 355. So what do you do when you apply? One of the important things you do is that you have 10 options. In the 10 options, you put 10 specialties and you link each specialty with a city. And someone who's dedicated, he wants ophthalmology, and ophthalmology it is. I don't want anything else. So he would put ophthalmology, Riyadh, ophtha, Jeddah, ophtha, Dammam, ophtha, everywhere. And then he'd say, if I don't get ophthalmology, I don't want a program. Or someone would say general surgery, Jeddah, orthopedics, Riyadh, orthopedic, obstetrics and gynecology, Riyadh. Whatever, I want to stay in Riyadh. Riyadh is my city, whatever I get into. I get into family medicine, I get into neurosurgery, I get into cardiac surgery, but I want to stay in Riyadh. That is left to you. And believe me, there are lots of, we found some people, they're not sure what they want. So, and one day, and we could track all the changes that go on with applicants. And one day in the morning, he wakes up or she wakes up, he feels like Superman, and he puts ophthalmology as the first choice. By the end of the night, I don't know, he sat with his friends and they told him, yeah, you wish. It's back to family medicine or diploma in family medicine. So you have those options changed. But the difference from this year and next year, when you will be applying, is that first option will be locked. Application days, if it starts January 1st, it ends February 15. Then the dates are not accurate yet. But when you start your application, option number 1 is locked. If you put your first choice, pediatrics, Riyadh, it's locked. You have another 9 options that you could change throughout the application period. But your first choice, please enter your first option wisely, because electronic submission, you cannot change it. You'll see why. When we get to it, you'll see why. Because whatever changes, and I hope we agree on this right now over here, whatever changes have occurred from the previous 2 years and this year, they are evidence-based changes. And they are not changes that have occurred from someone sitting, drinking coffee, and they changed it. It's been evidence we've gathered from the last 2 years. We had interviews or focus group discussions with students like you or interns who have applied to the system. We had discussions with program directors, academic affairs, consultants, evaluators of the portfolio, and this is the decision we reached. So I hope in this session, this is applicable. It will not change. I hope you get all your points clarified so you'd be clear when it's your turn to apply. But if you'd like to know why, I could share with you why, but it won't change anything. So specialties, city and options, you will know why, because some of the components in the portfolio, you will get extra credit for them, because if they are related to your city first option. And this was a major request from the program directors, who will be responsible to you when you go into the hospital. So, nominees, after everyone applied to the application period, nomination day, there we said 5,300 applicants in medicine, 3,200 were nominated. So this was the first cut point. The other 2,000, they're out of the game. They will come and they will apply when you are applying. So 3,000 got into the second phase of the application, the nomination phase, which they were nominated to a city and a specialty. This day, they were told, you are nominated for medicine, internal medicine, in Riyadh. You have a question? Nope, not choice, not city. First one is locked. Both. Specialty, city is locked. You have 9 other options to change city, to change specialty for 45 days. Like, nominees who were nominated to their first chosen option. Now we're going into specifically medicine. 53% were nominated to their first option. حطوا their first option, internal medicine, Jeddah, general surgery, Dammam. They were nominated to their first option. 53%, and then you could see the percentages going less and less. And this presentation, please, Muhammad, share it with everyone so they get to know the numbers. There are some specialties that are more competitive than others. Like, for example, if you look at probably internal medicine, 837 people listed that as their first option, as their priority. And 500 of them got that priority, or got that option. Competitive, very, very, very competitive specialties: ophthalmology, dermatology, plastic surgery, ENT. Those are very, very competitive. Dermatology, of course, I mentioned that. So these are the numbers of different specialties. It just gives you a sense, yani, how much risk are you taking by putting that into option number 1. all the specialties. Number two, before going into portfolio components, within the coming probably at least 2 to 3 months before your application starts, we will be issuing a manual that specifies all the principles and guidelines of matching system. So you will know how the match applies, tips on probably if you pass phase 1, you go into phase 2, how to rank hospitals, how the contract between the Saudi Commission and program directors and with institutes. So that probably you'll find it 2 months in the Saudi Commission website before application starts. This is currently published. It's in the website. Training program application, portfolio submission, regulations and guidelines. It has, please read it. Perfect. You تبعتوا لهم إياه؟ إن شاء الله عليكم. ما شاء الله عليكم. And probably there's one typo there, but I'll mention it here. There's one thing that will be changed in it, or not changed. It's a typo that was not added on the current version on the website. So the components. كلكم مطلعين عرفتوا شفتوا الكومبوننتس مصيبه لو انكم الان ما تعرفوها وانتم انترنز. طيب يمكن صار تقنين اكثر بناء على our 2-year experience. First component, research activity, proposal, 2 points. Number 2, research activity, publication, 2 points. It's still 10 questions. Each question has 2 points out of 20 marks or 20 points. 3 is health-related courses, workshops. 2 submissions, 4 points. Health promotion awareness activities. Last year it was called extracurricular activity, but the wording different. It changed a bit, but it's the same. Conference attendance, conference presentation. The new one is 9. I hope we don't consume most of our time discussing the ones that were repeated from last year. The new one is clinical experience, Dean's List Award. And the last one is specialty city options. Let's go one by one. Research activity. Have you participated in writing a research proposal or participated partially in a research activity in which you did not meet the criteria of authorship? This is similar as last year, but one thing to point out is that whatever you put in question number 1, you cannot put the same in question number 2. So there has to be 2 different documents, 2 different studies, 2 different manuscripts. What do we want here? I know probably most of the medical schools in one of their courses, research course, community medicine course, family medicine rotation, they go through an exercise of writing a proposal. That proposal that you wrote, just attach the abstract and a letter from your supervisor, from your faculty member, that Muhammad participated in the study, Muhammad, or a group. Mostly it's groups, like 3 or 4 working on one project or one proposal or one study. They participated or they had active participation in the study entitled so-and-so. This is basically what question 1 is. Fadal. IRB approval, and it has your name on it. That means that you participated in it. طيب شوية خلينا نخلص هذه بيوصل للثاني publication. No. This point, we are at basically proposal. إلا اشتغل ما في أحد في الكلية ما اشتغل على كتب proposal. كليات المملكة كلها. And a different topic, a different course. Some in family medicine, some in community, some in there's a research course that goes on longitudinally. I think this question, this year, there's, if you talk about medicine, more than 90% of the students got 2 out of 2 in this question. So I don't think this is a major problem. This is not discriminating that Flan, he put in more effort, it helped, but because this is probably mandatory for all medical schools now. Writing a proposal and going through the steps of writing a proposal. Straightforward, nothing new. The only difference is, if you have a publication this year, we give you points for question 1 and 2. Right now, that publication has to be something different from this proposal. تفضل يا سيدي. It doesn't have to be. But when we get to the question number 9 or question number 10, you will see if it's related, you will get 2 points for that. If it's not related, it doesn't have. This can be you're applying for internal medicine and this is a psychiatry proposal. It's a medical education proposal, study that you're conducting. You're looking at sleep patterns in medical students. So it doesn't have to be related.
الشباب اللي بيسأل بس تظهر الأسئلة في التسجيل اطلبوا المايك أول شيء عشان بس ناخذ وقت نحط نص ساعة آخر شيء للأسئلة اكتبوها عشان ما تنسونها عشان يقدر الدكتور يشرح النقاط كاملة.
أنا ألتزم بالمدير. المدير اللي يقول التزم فيه. طيب. Number 2, research activity. Are you an author or co-author of a published research article? Same as last year, one difference. It has to be in an index journal. That's number 1. That's for 2017 applicants. You have to publish in an index journal. 2018 applicants, no open access journals. So, 2017 applicants, you can publish in an, it has to be indexed, regardless, open access, closed access, half access, semi-access, أي شيء. Full option, it has to be indexed. 2018 applicants, your colleagues that we'll be seeing after a year and a half, no more open access journals. And believe me, what we've seen is very, very, very frightening and unfair. This was the major concern for this point came from your colleagues from last year. Lots of them came to us and they said, you know what? And they came and they showed me, look, I can get my publication, I could get a publication in 3 days, but it cost me money. So they come and they sent an email to a guy in Dubai who's a freelancer. He wrote them a manuscript. That's day 1. They paid the money through Western Union. Day 2, they sent it to an open access journal. واحد جالس في شقة كذا في مكان ما. And they sent him, and he responded, that's the editor. The editor responded, thank you very much for your submission. We will send it to independent reviewers. الصباح بعد العصر جاء رد. Your manuscript has been accepted. Please transfer processing fees and publication, £3,000 to this account. The 3rd day, they had their publication, fully published. The ones who went through the real publication said it's not fair. I went through the effort of publishing a paper, and we are equal. صح إنه هذا خسر فلوس, بس الآن we're considered equal. So that is where the point, the open access, and some people say yes, there are open access journals that are very good. بس مثل الله سبحانه وتعالى حرم الخمر فيه منافع ترى. ما حد قال الخمر فيه منافع, لكن open access journals this year accepted, they have to be indexed. 2018, just to give people a chance, a year and a half from now, no more open access journals. And then the submission in this question should be different from the question 1 submission. We got some emails from your colleagues. Someone sent a paper to a journal, and the journal wrote back, thank you very much for your submission. We will send it for review. That's not a publication. Someone got an email back from the editor that says, this is the review from the reviewers. Please edit your manuscript and send it back to us. That's not a publication. Publication very clearly is a publication. It's not something that's in the process of being reviewed by a journal. It's not something that has been ممكن احتمال, but if you get an email that says your manuscript has been accepted for publication in January 2020, that's okay, as long as it's been accepted for publication. Question number 3 and 4, similar to last year. Some changes. Health-related courses or workshops. BLS, CPR, first aid, no longer accepted. This came from mostly from the evaluators, from who were evaluating the CVs. They said this shouldn't be given credit for it, so it's been taken out. Number two, if you have something that's expired, ATLS, there's an expiry date on it. It won't be accepted. Anything with an expiry date that's been accepted is not accepted. That's been expired is not accepted. Any certificate without a date is not accepted. So, anyone, professional body that knows how to issue a certificate knows that it has to have a date. So, it should have a date. If it has an expiry, it should be valid and not expired. And 2 submissions, so 2 courses or 2 workshops or 1 course, 1 workshop, and they have to be health related. And these 2 questions, again, more than 90% of the applicants got the marks on them. And I think that whoever does not get the full mark on this, it's out of laziness. We've all worked in hospitals, the amount, or medical schools, there's an abundance of the number of courses and workshops being provided for free. Academic writing, communication skills, how to pass an OSCE exam, research from A to Z, lots and lots and abundance of health-related workshops and courses. Health promotion awareness activities, similar to last year, which used to be called extracurricular activities. No difference, except for, just to clarify it, it has to be health-related, number 1, and it has to target the community. So if you go present in a journal club, that's not considered here. That is not considered health promotion awareness activity. Number 2, and usually always when any system comes out, there are some people who play the system and they succeed to play the system, but it gets more and more strict when people start looking for the loopholes and trying to play the system. Some people, some of your colleagues from last year, submission ends February 1st, application, and January 27th, they went to one of the societies, جمعية مكافحة التدخين. سجل كعضو في جمعية مكافحة التدخين، واللي يسجل عندهم, they're very organized. They give you a schedule. Okay, you came, you paid 300 riyals, you became a member in the society, and they give you a schedule of your activities for the next year. They tell you, April 1st, from 6 to 8 p.m., you'll be participating in this campaign in this place. On January, you'll be here. But what your colleague attached was simply the schedule, which is in the future. It's not something that happened in the past, and that they are a member in the society. So that is not accepted. If you are a member in a society and you participated in one campaign, even if it's the same campaign, but in 2 different days, 2 different places, those are 2 different activities. So, جمعية مكافحة التدخين, الآن حضرت معهم حملة في أول الشهر وحملة في آخر الشهر. They will give you 2 different certificates. Use those for this, for question 5 and 6. لكن عضو في جمعية, just being a member in the society, this is not a health awareness activity. The other thing is to play the system, and this was very funny. واحد جاب خطاب من شركة الجماح and the logo on top was Pepsi Cola. شركة بيبسي الجماح هو الوكيل حقه. وكانت الحملة عن مكافحة السمنة والتوعية بأضرار السمنة. Come on. بس إنه we're not going to go and call, we have 8,000 plus applicants. ما حنروح نحن نسأل شركة الجماح الشخص اللي كتب اسمه هل هو هذا is he really تلاقي السكرتير واحد شغال عندهم الخطاب وطبع له هي ولده ولا شيء، ولا تيجي سعد الدين يكتب حملة مكافحة تسوس الأسنان ولا this is not so إذا كان non-government body, for-profit non-government body، لازم تكون موثقة من السعودي تشامبر اوف كوميرس اللي الغرفة التجارية. على الأقل على الأقل إلا هذا اللي وقعها في بيبسي نعرف إنه هو مدير لأنه أي وثيقة تصدر عشان الغرفة التجارية توثقها لازم تكون من الشخص المخول من المؤسسة هذه، مو سكرتير ولا أي حد جاي في المؤسسة وطلعها. Work related appointments, probably this does not apply to you. بس شغال واحد شغال في مستشفى النور في الحج طلعوا على مستشفى من الجسر، هذا ما يعتبر، هذا مو تطوع. This is not voluntary. هو في الحج ذو القعدة وذو الحجة لازم يكون في مستشفى من الجسر. This is work related. It's not something voluntary being done. 7, same as last year, attending a conference or a symposium. But the difference is the conference you present at and the conference you attend should be different. So it's 2 conferences. For question number 7, you attended a conference, you get a certificate, you get 2 points. The conference, if it's local, it has to be recognized with CME hours by the Saudi Commission, and it has to be health related. يعني كان واحد والله it's so funny يعني you will be from the 8,000 submissions مثلا في واحد حط إجازة حفظ القرآن الكريم. صح إنه ودك تعطيه الدرجات كلها يعني شيء كبير وشيء عظيم، لكن when we say health related it has to be health related. Number 1. Number 2 واحد حضر دورة، المدربين صاروا يا كثرهم بيعطوا دورات في كل شيء. هذه one of the funny ones، دورة كيف تخبر زوجتك الأولى عن الزواج بالثانية. There's a certificate، حط certificate، ما عنده شيء خلص عنده كل شيء قال حطها يمكن هذا يمشوها لي يجدوها ظريفة ولا لكن please it has to be health related. And again question 7, question 8 different activities. Question 8, did you present at a conference or symposium? Oral presentation, podium presentation, poster presentation, health related conference. Question 9, and probably this was a big mix-up with your future colleagues that I've attended with. Does any one of the following criteria apply to you? Clinical attachment, it cannot apply to any student or intern. 0. This is for residents, service residents. Or, it says either or, so it's not both. Or, O. And this is what applies for students and does not apply for service residents. So either, so let's focus what really is related to you. Are you listed on the Dean's List Award? If yes, you get 2 points. If no, you don't get the 2 points. وين الدين عندكم؟ هذا الدين قالوا له الدين he has to tell you. So this is the clinical attachment. This is for service residents. If you were asked by someone, it has to be 6 months attachment and a clinical work experience, clinical attachment, and then they get a letter from the program director, the RTP. This is what matters to you. Right now we're still talking question number 9. Question number 9, if you had clinical attachment or if you are the Dean's List. The Dean's List, every dean from all the medical, surgical, medical, dentistry, pharmacy, all health specialty schools, they need to find out a criteria in which they will put people on their list. So we leave the criteria to medical schools. To دكتور تجتمعوا عندكم العميد, you announce it. You tell them this is our criteria. And we'd highly prefer, we will be meeting with the deans, tell them please don't put the GPA part of it. GPA already has 30% of the score. Choose any criteria you want. That's up to medical schools to decide. And then send us the list. If you have 100 graduates, tell me these are the 5%, the 5 graduates that are on the dean's list, according to the criteria set by the school, the medical school, dentistry. That's the dean's list. That's it. I have no say in it. The deans, they set the criteria. We want the deans to announce the criteria and make it public to everyone. And then we get the list from them, and we put the 5%. Those 5% get 2 points. Last question. Does any one of the following criteria apply to you? Again, it's either or. ما هي الاثنين. إما الأولى أو الثانية. الأولى, the last 8 documents you submitted. Research proposal, publication, the courses you attended, the 2 courses, the health awareness activities you conducted, the conference you attended, the conference you presented at. Any of those documents, are 4 of them related to your first option or not? So, 4 of the 8 documents, are they related to your first option or not? You get 2 points. If yes, you get 2 points. Or, أنا خلنا نقول والله أنا ماني فاضي publications ولا أنا بس أحضر أي شيء موجود قدامي سجلت فيه أي مؤتمر لقيته سجلت فيه وخلاص. The other option you have to get the 2 points here is that in your first option, the city that you listed is other than رياض، جدة، دمام، مكة وعبها. يعني حتى لو حطيت البحرين تاخذ لك درجتين. والله بنحط البحرين هنا. نسينا البحرين. Why these 5 cities? They are the most dense cities with trainees. So, this last question, it's up to you. Either you choose a city other than those 5, or your documents that are submitted, the last 8 documents, are related, or 4 of them are related to your first option or first specialty. حتى لو ما قبلت first choice. You still took the risk. بعدين في قبلت اللي بعدها خلاص ما حنشيلها منك. Thank you very much. And now, the moderator, whatever you'd like, how you want to start the questions, please feel free.
ناخذ أسئلة، شوفوا الأسئلة الحين. عندي سؤال يسأل، إذا عندك أكثر من سؤال يسأله مرة واحدة. وركز في الأسئلة لأن عشان لا ينعاد السؤال مرة ثانية. لأن كثير من الأحيان إنه يعيد السؤال ما يكون سامع السؤال اللي قبله. فركز في الأسئلة عشان لا يتعاد الأسئلة.
الله ينور عليك يا شيخ.
عشان نستنى وقت الدكتور قدر الإمكان. تفضل.
السلام عليكم. 2 questions regarding the last one, question number 10. Regarding the preferred specialty, if you have a specialty on your choice. If I suppose that I'm interested in radiology, and I have 2 workshops, one on CT, one on X-ray, in 2 documents, are they counted 2 separately, or workshop by itself is one category?
2 different documents.
2 different.
So you have 8 documents you submitted.
One for radiology CT, one for radiology X-ray. Both are courses.
Like, those are 2 documents.
Okay.
جيب لي another 2 documents. Your proposal, مثلا, your proposal that you did, it's related to radiology.
And conference, for example.
And the conference. خلاص, you got the 4 documents.
Okay. The second question is regarding also research proposal. So how you identify a proposal or research in different specialty? By looking at the keyword, by looking at the different titles. There will maybe different opinions of different researchers, how they categorize these researchers. So should we write keywords, or what should we do?
So when you submit your abstract, the people, the evaluators, they are all from the health field, number 1.
Yes.
Number 2, when we meet them, one of the things we will tell them, try as much as possible. You try to be as clear as possible. Avoid the gray zones. And this is, try to avoid the gray zones. إنه هذا إذا أنت وزميلك تقولوا والله هذا, would I consider it for radiology or not? You would say yes, he would say no. Try to avoid it.
I totally agree, but it's research.
But what we will do is we would recommend to the evaluators, focus on more bigger categories, medical, surgical. مثلا. And if it's a research related to a medical field, and his first priority is related to a medical field, I think that should be considered as a document that supports the first option related to the first.
Okay, and here is my final suggestion. Why you don't add just one addition below the proposal? What is the field of your research?
What is the field
of your research? You
yours.
can write.
شوفي, there's a comments. There's some place for comments. You want to write that, write that. feel free to do that.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
نعم.
الله يعطيك العافية دكتور، بس في نقطة بس بسيطة كما اتضحت لي سؤالين. بالنسبة لي دكتور الله يعافيك للنقطة 2 point related to the conference أو attendance أو course أو.
This one, question number 10.
أي نعم. هذه النقطة يا دكتور لو كان مثلا أنت مقدم ريسيرش أو حاضر مؤتمر جريز، يعني مثلا هو يعتمد على الفاميلي أو يعتمد على الميديسن، مثلا سموكينج مثال، يمكن دخله في الفاميلي، يمكن دخله في الميديسن، يمكن دخله بيدياتريك، فهل في كريتيريا معينة للإيفالويشن ولا كل واحد ديبند؟
والله شوف, number one, usually when it's not clear, what we did this year and last year, when there's something that the evaluator is not sure of, they post it in all the evaluators. This year there were 27, we were all in one group. So he takes a picture and he sends it, and then it goes to voting. I might say no, Dr. Muhammad Hassan says no, but there are 25 others that vote. One of the things, مثلا BLS expired. Someone posted expired BLS on the group. I said no, it shouldn't be accepted. Dr. Muhammad said no, it shouldn't be accepted. But the majority said yes, and it was accepted. So this is what will happen with something that's in the gray zone. Whenever we are in doubt, let's say 50-50, we're split 60-40, we give the score or the marks or the points to the candidate, and then we come and visit that again after the submission is done.
النقطة الثانية دكتور، إذا كان فيها ريسيرش وكنت مثلا في التيم أو في كأوثر أو كذا وطلع البحث مثلا ببلش في الباب ميد أو زي ما هالجنرال يعني، فهل يحسب لك هذا كبحث أو يحسب لك بحث ونشر؟
Okay, so this is what happened this year. There was one researcher, Allah yahdi, he published his paper, and there were only 3 faculty members, co-authors and 2 co-authors with him. But he gave more than 250 students a letter that they were part of the study. More than 250. الطب صرنا كلنا كل الايفالويترز 27 مروا عليه. بيشوفوا ربما they contributed, they collected data with them, but it's very clear this year. Publication is you have to be an author or a co-author. That's it. اسمك موجود فوق author co-author. تحت التايتل في الاسم 3 4 10 دكتور سلبا جمال publish something 120 author. They have to be with that group. If your name is in the acknowledgement, your name is somewhere, thank you فلان فلاني for your participation, you will be part of the proposal. Question number 1. Yes. But please, to make our life easier, highlight that. بدل ما يجي ندور 7-8 صفحات, highlight إنه اسمك موجود في الpublication, you attached it, highlight your name كده عشان نلاقيه على طول في manuscript.
For question number 10, for the 4 documents, do they all have to be different, or let's say 2 workshops, 2 conferences in the same specialty?
Anything.
So they don't have to be different activities.
2 courses, 2 health promotion activities. الأربعة هذه الدواء كلها سويتها. أنت تبغى neurology سويت 2 stroke awareness activities in 2 different places. والcourses that you attended reading ال EEG والثاني كانت عن stroke day. خلاص. Those are 4 related to neurology. أهم شيء 4 documents. إحنا ما قلنا 4 different categories, 4 documents من الثمانية.
Assalamu alaikum. You just, number 7, you talked about conference, and you said about local conference should be accepted by Saudi Commission. What about the international conference?
Accepted by حقهم هم اللي هناك.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be Saudi Commission. It's very clear. Please look at the manual. Everything, if the conference is local, it should be recognized and approved by Saudi Commission. فإذا if it's international ما حنقول لك إنه it's not approved by Saudi Commission. We'll accept it.
That's why I'm asking that you will not.
If it's not stated here, it's accepted. ما يحتاج ميكروفون خلاص.
Is there a chance to open a new specialty in this year? Because the last year you opened like the ICU as a new specialty. What about this year?
Well, it all depends on scientific councils. Scientific councils, when they go through a process to get a specialty out, to approve a specialty, to start the training. So we don't know. And just diabetes fellowship, they finalized it a few weeks ago. And now they have one fellow. So we're not sure. And ممكن واحد بدأ له 3 سنين. They started the process of getting a specialty recognized for training and did not finish. Some they finish in 6 months. So we'll see.
Is there, like a hospital or just a manager I can go and ask him about this?
Something is on your mind. 100%. You have something in mind. What do you have in mind?
I'm asking, last week I was talking about just a consultant in Al-Haras. He told me this, I think, a new chance to be in a vascular surgery residency, like in the next 2 years or next year. He's not sure about this.
If you don't need to ask anyone, when you enter your application, you will find all the specialties listed. If it's not listed, it won't be part of the application for that year. All the specialties, when you go in, when you're choosing your 10 options, you have the whole list, and you have the whole list of all the cities. If it's not on that application, near the application period, it will not have trainees for that year. تقدر تروح تحمسهم تقول لهم يلا عجلوا علينا بسرعة.
يعطيك العافية.
والله هذا من أول ينتظر يا شيخ.
الله يسلمك. كم الماكسيمم نمبر الكو اوثر والاوثر؟ هل فيه
unlimited؟ حط كو اوثر 10 20 30 40 150. بس أهم شيء author co-author. It has to be author or co-author. ما هو contributor ولا collaborator ولا.
السلام عليكم. يزيد السميح. بالنسبة ايش سميتوها الجديدة هذه؟ بورتفوليو. كم الافرج للسنة هذه؟ كم جابوا الشباب؟
والله شوف احنا one of the things we do not want to encourage انه it's something we did not announce the numbers لكن in average I would say 12 to 14 for medical specialties for medicine. Other specialties they're way behind. يعني للفارماسي I would say 4 on average. They need a lot of catching up to do.
طيب سؤال ثاني.
والله شكله غدا حطيتوه يا شيخ بيمشي الشباب خلاص. طيب قولوا لنا نمشي كمان.
بالنسبة للسؤال الأخير السؤال العاشر، إذا كانت في نفس السبيشالتي هذا ما في أي مكان ثاني غير المدن المحددة الرياض وجدة والدمام قلنا والمدينة وأبها أو عفوا مكة وأبها، إذا كان ما في ما البرنامج مو موجود في مناطق ثانية فما راح يكون لها عليها درجة هذه.
حاول الأوفرال دوكيومنتس عندك. الفور
دوكيومنتس يعني تحول على الفور دوكيومنتس أونلي.
شوف أنت عندك هنا either or.
أنا معاك لكن قصدي إذا ما كان فيه البارت الثاني فما عندك إلا البارت الأول.
شد حيلك خلي 4 دوكيومنتس يكونوا ريدي.
طيب الله يعطيك العافية.
السلام عليكم. السؤال العاشر الفقرة الأولى، إذا كان بحث بيسك ساينس مثلا بحث الجينيتكس ولا بحث النيورو ساينس على أي كاتيجوري ممكن تنحط؟
بس الجينيتكس أنت مثلا you're looking at the genetics of something ما هو جينيتكس كذا بيور ما له أي علاقة بالكلينيشن. مثلا
البي 53
genetics of
ممكن تحطها تحت أي كاتيجوري؟
يعني it's you cannot pinpoint medicine oncology it will.
What about microbiology? If I work to search about antibiotics and the برضو medicine.
هي في الأخير هم ترى everyone who's looking at it they are all from the health field يعني they're all clinicians pharmacists يعني شوية برضو نعطيهم credit إنه they will try to sort it out but there is doubt usually the doubt is in the favor of the candidate.
Okay شكرا.
يا جماعة خلوكم من الجراي اريا يعني في ناس الأغلبية هذول اللي هم قرأوا المانيوال and they understood it. لو كلنا هنا موجودين شفنا الدوكيومنتس حنعطيهم 20 من 20 لكن في اشخاص الله تلاقي يجلس and there's another thing do not submit more than 1 page. لو حطيت 20 صفحة في الدوكيومنت وهذه في المانيوال موجود عندكم في الصفحه الاولى جنرال جايد لاينز. لو حطيت 20 صفحه بعضهم يقول والله انا احط له 20 صفحه والا هو يشوف يختار منهم اللي تصيب ولا تخيب. The evaluator will only look at page number 1. هذا other than the research activity or research publication. أي واحدة غيرها the first document is what the evaluator will look at. And it's very clearly stated in your in the manual. تفضل يا سيدي.
السلام عليكم. اسمي طلال أبو الجدايل. عندي سؤال بس بسيط. بالنسبة للبحوث قلت إنه لازم يكون البحث related للفيرست أوبشن حقي، صحيح؟
لا.
أنت قلت عشان الكريدت اللي موجودة فيه.
لا. ممكن يكون في شيء ثاني. وعندك الكورسز والاكسترا كريكولر ولا الهيلث بروموشن اكتيفيتيز ريليتد للفيرست تشويس.
طيب خليني اسالك اللي في بالي دحين. لو كان عندي بحث في مجال سيرجري فيلد يعني، والاختيار الاول عندي اورثوبيديك مثلا، هل يحتاج انه يكون الريسيرش حقي في الاورثوبيديك ولا خلاص هو سيرجري وانتهينا؟ يعني يا اما سيرجيكال فيلد يا اما ميديكال فيلد.
all the evaluators we will meet with them, we'll tell them, you know, let's keep it general, surgical, medical. And if you dig in deep, we appreciate you're still يعني والله the more how mature you are as students, you're way above us. احنا كنا مثلكم ما كنا والله. يعني it's very honorable to see people at the level of publications you're doing, the level of commitment, the level of maturity you're at. But we'll stick to medical surgical إن شاء الله.
خلاص إن شاء الله. يعطيك العافية.
There is changes في البورتفوليو.
Yes, it's this point. It's the point of the publication, and the new, probably the document that's on the website, this one, where it says point number 2 and question number 2 applies to applicants of 2018 with regards to the open access journal. In 2018 no open access, zero. بالنسبة لكم you still have open access but it has to be indexed.
أول شيء الله يعطيكم العافية ومشكورين ما قصرت على جهودكم. بالنسبة للماتش اللي يصير بين المستشفيات وبين الهيئة، مثلا أنا مثلا ما قدمت على أو حط الفيرست تشويس عندي اللي هو سنتر نوت كومبيتيتيف، يعني مثلا حطيت مثلا نقول لقبول الأمن.
عفوا.
بالنسبة للتخصص نفسه مثلا.
طيب تفضل.
حاط رقم 3 تخصصي مثلا.
طيب.
طبعا التخصصي هو اللي يكون كومبيتيتيف عليه، الناس يبون مثلا مستشفى تخصصي. فهل مثلا لو سمح الله واحد من الحقين تخصصي يعني ما جاه الخيار وحط مثلا رقم 2 اللي هو قولم، هل انا ينزل نسبتي بالتشويس مثلا اصير انا رقم معين انزل
طيب.
تحت بعدين هو يجي مكاني ولا كيف الوضع؟
Before we go into the match, are we done with portfolio? بعدين ممكن نخلص منه جارك الله يعافيك. Can we finish بالبورتفوليو ونخلص هذه كلها ال10؟
انا ابغى اسال عن الريسيرش بروبوزل، كيف اثبت مثلا اجي احطه في السيستم، مثلا احط الابستراكت او احط التوقيع
ابستراكت ورساله من الدكتور توفيق. That's it. خطاب. مين اللي كان سوبرفايزر حقك في البروبوزل؟
الابستراكت ولا الخطاب فقط؟
لا ابستراكت ولتر. لانه لو جدنا السنه الاولى السنه الاولى واحد يجي ياخذ له ان والله حرام، لانه بعدين احنا لو اكتشفنا انه هو اخذ هذا الابستراكت من الانترنت وحطه، هذا he'll be blacklisted, he can't apply it anymore. يعني just to help people not plagiarize any, جيب abstract and any of your faculty في اي جامعه كتب له خطاب انه محمد شارك في الابستراكت and writing the abstract or writing the study titled كذا كذا. That's it. That's all you need.
مثلا لو مثلا معي 2 ريسيرش بابليكيشن، حطيت واحد في بابليكيشن اقدر احط الثاني في الريسيرش بروبوزل ولا لا؟
يس.
يمشي ولا؟ طب لو كنت في اكنولجمنت اخذ درجتين ولا اخذ درجه؟
تاخذ الاول بس. تاخذ درجتين حق السؤال الاول.
ايوه. والسؤال الثاني ذا ريسيرش بروبوزل.
لا خلاص راح عليك يا رجل. السؤال الثاني you have to be an author or co-author. يعني بس خلينا نقول عندك 2 publications.
اي بس هنا مذكور في الكتيب مثلا حتى اذا حطيت في الريسيرش بروبوزل حطيت لك ابستراكت وانت في اكنولجمنت ما تاخذ درجتين، تاخذ درجه.
لا تاخذ درجتين. اقرا ايش مكتوب.
الثاني كو-اوثر كلهم مشهورين كم ياخذ؟
حط اللي انت فيه اكنولجمنت في السؤال رقم 1 تاخذ درجتين. حط الببليكيشن انت فيه كو-اوثر في السؤال رقم 2 تاخذ درجتين. لكن السؤال اذا انت عندك بروبوزل حطيته في السؤال رقم 1 تاخذ درجتين واخذت رساله من الدكتور توفيق. الببليكيشن اللي انت فيه اكنولجمنت حطيته في السؤال رقم 2 0 because you're not a co-author or co-author.
جميل.
Yes.
باقي اي احد من يسمع عن البورتفوليو؟ اي سؤال؟
الخطاب لازم كل اثنين.
لا لا ثاني ببليكيشن خلاص. ايوه طيب طيب ويعني بتجيب المانيسكريبت من الانترنت وتسوي له ابلود السؤال الاول. طيب طيب واسمك موجود اكنولجمنت خلاص ما تحتاج رساله ما يحتاج خطاب خلاص اسمك موجود. خلينا نركز الحين في سؤال رقم 1. احنا في سؤال رقم 1 هذا السؤال اوكي. إذا طالع المانيسكريبت published في الأكنولجمنت مكتوب اسمك خلاص ما يحتاج خطاب. خطاب لأنه ما هو published. proposal سويته أنت كتبته في الريسيرش كورس في الكوميونتي ميديسن كورس سويته proposal وقدمته آخر السنة and you passed the course. حط الابستراكت بس أنا ما أعرف الابستراكت هذا لك ولا ما هو لك it's not published. حط لي رسالة من واحد من الفاكولتي إنه فلان فلاني he participated in writing this study ولا in this study.
ممكن انه نفس الريسيرش ما كان في مرة ما كمل بس انه اخذ
ما كمل.
اخذ اكسبتنس من الكوميتي الاكسبتنس كوميتي. يعني مثلا انا ديون الريزنس كانت كلها وافقوا عليها تخصصي بس ما صار في فند واحد اللي كان المفروض يقرا السلايدات سافر وموافق عليه. فهذه لو سويت شيء زي كذا بتاخذ عليه درجتين على الاول بس الثاني لازم تكون ببلش.
مثلا اسمك موجود في الاي ار بي تحط الابستراكت تحط الرساله حقت الاي ار بي اسمك موجود as long as your name is there ما يحتاج خطاب خلاص. في الاي ار بي هذا اثبات انك انت كنت بارت انه you did a proposal و you submitted it للهوسبيتال اسمك موجود. That's it.
Any other question about the portfolio ولا نروح الماتشنج؟
طيب very briefly.
الفايلز اللي you uploaded in the portfolio. Is there anyone later on can see it or know which file related to any activity?
ما كيف؟ ما فهمت.
يعني إذا قدمت على sub specialty ولا رحت للانترفيو is there anyone those
Program director can see your application can see all your files. Yes.
included the documents?
Yes. Yes. وهذا الريكوست جاء من البروجرام دايركتورز انه بالله هذا الان جالس مسوي مقدم لي كاردياك سيرجري وحط الكونفرنس حق سايكايتري وحضر له كورس حق التصوير الاشعاعي وجاي الحين يبغى يقدم كاردياك سيرجري. انا ايش ابغى بهذا؟ Yes, they can see all of your uploaded documents. Program directors in the hospitals.
Can they see معلش can they see the اللي هي ترتيب الرغبات؟
لا.
تقريبا 3 weeks ago I was have a meeting. I had a meeting with one of program director in family medicine, and he told me, regardless whatever the candidate he want, some of them they enter, يعني إنه their SMLE is low, so they cannot go through ENT or OPHTA, so they enter the first choice family medicine because they need money. They are married and they need a salary for them. So do you focus in these things or you don't focus? So this year I'm Yusuf Hoja, I enter for medicine. Next year I enter the SMLE exam and I score a higher score. Then I enter for OPHTA. Do you focus on these candidates?
As a nomination?
Yes.
ولا الآن the nomination how it happens. الآن أنتم الموجودين في الغرفة كلكم حطيتوا رغباتكم 10 رغبات. كل واحد صار له درجة موزونة من 50 و 30 و 20%. نجي أول شيء محمد درجته أعلى واحد فيهم كلكم أخذ 96. محمد ياخذ رغبته الأولى. بغض النظر إيش كانت فاميلي ميديسن كانت ENT كانت اللي تكون. محمد ياخذ رغبته الاولى، بعده يزيد درجته 90 ياخذ رغبته الاولى، اخذ ابثالمولوجي انتهى الابثالمولوجي في مقعدين فقط. نجي الثالث درجته 89 ونص، رغبته الاولى ابثالمولوجي، بس خلاص نمبر سيتس، طالع رغبته الثانيه.
طيب let's say انه انا درجتي 75.
طيب
وانا عارف انه نبدا في السنه هذه لانه بس مني عندي لو.
اوكي.
فادخل مثلا تخصص من التخصصات اللي ميديسن مثلا.
طيب.
لانه درجاته شويه اقل.
طيب.
فالسنه هذه على اساس انه السنه الجايه اني ادخل الاسم لي مره ثانيه واختبره عشان اجيب درجه كويسه في الاسم لي عشان اقدر ادخل السنه الجايه.
الشرط انك ما السنه هذه رشحت انترنال ميديسن 75 واخترت انترنال ميديسن. اول شيء لازم تعتذر عن الاكسبتنس. ما تقدر تبدا انترنال ميديسن السنه هذه تيجي السنه الجايه تقول بقدم على البروجرام. You can't. If you are registered in a program you cannot apply for another program. هذا كل اللي يقدم معاكم ما هم trainees موجودين في السعودي بورد. You cannot be a trainee and apply.
انا بالبس ايامنا كان عادي.
أوه كان كل واحد يقدم إلا يبغى. Yes, he's right. Yes. الآن واحدة اكتشفناها somehow she slipped from the system. واحدة من ال 3200 واحد. بس هي اللي كشفت نفسها. هي في الديرماتولوجي و I don't know how she slipped through the system وقدمت ورشحت ENT. يوم رشحت ENT جات على الدراسات العليا، هي sooner or later she's gonna get نعرف. جات على قسم قالت أنا أبغى أقدم أبغى أفصل الآن من الديرماتولوجي. ليش؟ عشان أنا رشحت ENT. أوكي stop. ارجع للديرماتولوجي we took her application out of ENT. So you cannot, it's by law, by the regulations, you cannot join a program. طيب matching رغبتك الأولى كانت في قوى الأمن، وقوى الأمن عندهم 10 مقاعد. طيب حطوك أنت رقم 5، خلاص حتروح قوى الأمن. حتروح قوى الأمن.
ولا مثلا ولا اتجاه تخصص مثلا مقبل حضر مستشفى ثاني اللي هو قولة.
طيب
يروح قولة
إذا في مقاعد.
إذا في مقاعد.
أنت خلاص أنت أخذت قوى الأمن.
إي بس أنا قصدي مثلا ما يجي مثلا يصير هو يجي قبل إنه هو
لا.
درجاته أحسن.
وما نطالع في الدرجات أبدا، نطالع في الترتيب. الآن حتى كانوا البروجرام دايركتورز يقول اعطونا الدرجه حقت الكانديديتس انتم بعد ما صفيتوهم الدرجه الموزونه. نقول لهم this has nothing to do with how you rank the candidates. You sit and interview the candidate or rank them from you have internal medicine. والله مساكين كان عندهم 200 في الرياض 249 applicants. So they had to rank from 1 to 249. This is what we look at. Huh? Based on the hospital acceptance committee, whatever they choose. يعني كان في مستشفى الملك سلمان الانترنال ميديسن قال انا والله سوى لهم اختبار 50 سؤال MCQ قال لهم تعالوا اجلسوا. حط الاختبار وبناء على درجتهم he ranked them. We do not go into this. زي ما العمداء قلنا لهم انتوا الدينز ليست you build the criteria براحتكم. Same thing with regard to programs. You put the criteria that you want, that you think will be more accurate to get you the good candidates, and then you rank them. For what we look at the order of the program directors and your order of preference of programs, of centers. احنا خلصنا من مسألة البروجرام. Your order, their order, and that's how they match up. خلاص حيروح مستشفى تخصصي.
اي بس يعني ممكن ما اخذ مقعد مثلا لانه مثلا بيحط كذا شيء فيكون ماخذ مقعد هنا وهنا وهنا.
ما ياخذ مقعد هنا وهنا ابدا. اذا هم حطوه عندهم 5 مقاعد التخصصي حطوه رقم 1، وعندهم 5 مقاعد قوى الامن وحطوه رقم 1، ايش اللي يحدد فين يروح هو؟ رغبته هو حط قوى الامن رقم 1 راح قوى الامن، خلاص التخصصي ما حياخذ رقم 1 عندهم في القائمه، طاير رقم 2. هو هذا يمكن المفهوم السنه هذه اللي حتى بعض مدراء البرامج ما فهموه، انه انت ما حيجيك القائمه من 1 ل 10 impossible. مدينه الملك فهد الطبيه عندهم القائمه 1 ل 20، عندهم 20 مقعد انترنال ميديسن، القائمه عندهم من 21. كم واحد جاهم من 21 تتوقع؟ 5. They were so mad. They were so mad. كيف احنا نحطهم من 21 وما يجوا عندنا؟ 5 منهم اللي جو، البقيه قبلوا في مراكز اخرى هم فضلوها على بسبب يعني مو شرط انه المستشفى الثاني احسن منه. في واحد قال لا والله انا بيتي هنا ومستشفى الملك سلمان هنا، هذا البريفرنس حقي.
يعني بسبب كلامك انه القبول الهيئه هو قبول البرنامج، قبول المستشفيات انتم تعطوا الانقباض في الهيئه في البرنامج، والمستشفيات هي اللي تحدد تقبل مين وترفض مين.
نو 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 نو.
هذا كلامك، ما ادري اذا انت فاهم شيء ولا.
المستشفيات ترتب جميع المرشحين للتخصص في المدينه. الان مثلا العيون خلينا نقول في 3 مراكز، رشح 10 اشخاص. البروجرام دايركتور في تخصص العيون يرتبهم من 1 ل 10. البروجرام دايركتور نفس ال10 هذول، البروجرام دايركتور في البرنامج المشترك يرتبهم من 1 ل 10. البروجرام دايركتور في الجامعي الملك سعود الجامعي يرتبهم من 1 ل 10. والكانديديتس يرتبوا المراكز من 1 ل 3. واحد حط الجامعي اول، التخصص الثاني، البرنامج المشترك ثالث. بعدين الهيئه تسوي الماتشنج بناء على رغبتهم، الهيئه تسوي الماتشنج وترسل لهم هذه الاسماء اللي عندك. These are the names you get. These are the names you get. These are the names you get. Some people أكيد حيكونوا عطوا السنة الجاية يقدموا معاكم.
وفي نقطة ثانية، الهيئة تقبل أكبر من العدد اللي
ترشح
أكبر من العدد اللي تحتاجه مراكز مثلا في الرياض.
يس.
رغبتك يعني في الرياض يحتاج يغطي 18 مقعد ولا 15 مقعد، وأنت تقبل 22 ولا 30 مقعد.
نرشح. طبعا هذه مسألة ترشيح يا اخوان. It's very sensitive issue. كم يرشح لكل تخصص؟ كم الإضافي؟
10%.
الإضافي اللي يرشح
10%.
هي 10 ل 20%. الإضافي اللي يرشح هذا he's out of the game. إذا ما قبل راح يجي للسنة القادمة. فهذه كانت نقطة نقاش طويلة المدى. والبعض كان يقول لا رشحوا 50% زيادة. لكن كان الهيئة وتمسكنا إلى آخر يوم إنه ما نرشح إلا 10 إلى 20% زيادة فقط. فالسنة هذه 10 20%، السنة القادمة بنحاول إن تظل بين 10 و 20%.
طيب.
يعني على كذا
خدافة.
هي نفس السؤال هذا سؤال. على كذا اللي يجيكم من العسكري.
الله يسعدك، جزاك الله خير.
اللي يجيكم من القطاع العسكري ولا من الجامعات، هذا مفروض إذا عنده وظيفة معيد ولا وظيفة.
نوب.
لا إذا هو درجات كويسة لازم يقبل سنتر.
في 3 معيدين لجامعة الملك سعود، هذه 3 سنة لهم، ما لحقوها أول سنة، يمكن 3 سنة لهم. السنة هذه لم يرشحوا، ما رشحوا، ما عدوا فيز 1.
يعني قصدي إذا واحد عدى الفيز 1.
عدى فيز 1. عندكم معيد مثلا، عندكم معيد وعندكم مستشفى جامعي إن شاء الله بدري عاد متى حيصير عندكم مستشفى. لا خليه في جامعة الملك سعود أجل بلا، هذا مو مثال صحيح هذا. ما هو المثال صحيح. جامعة الملك سعود في عندهم معيد انترنال ميديسن وترشح لانترنال ميديسن الرياض. إذا راح عندهم يعني هو المفروض يحطوه رقم 1، هو يحطهم رقم 1 والله يوفقه ويسوي التدريب عندهم. لكن he has to pass الفيرست فلتر. هذا المرشح اللي عندهم ما عدى الفيرست فلتر. في ناس على مستوى الرياض أحسن منه درجة موزونة ورشحوا للتخصص. صار نومني خلاص. انت كمان it makes sense للبروجرام دايركتور للمستشفى انه هذا موظف عندي، يعني I should put him number 1. He has a sponsor already. هذا مشكلة سبونسر، هذا قصة ثانية الله يعينكم. السنه هذه
دكتور الله يعافيك، بس عندي سؤال عباره عن جزئين. الجزء الاول طبعا بقولها كلها يمكن جوابها واحد. النقطه الاولى يا دكتور بالنسبه للرغبات، يعني دخلنا الرغبات في الهيئه.
ممتاز.
جيد. مثلا عندك 10 رغبات، كويس. انا حطيت الرغبه الاولى مثلا ميديسن، سيرجري، مثلا اوفتا.
ميديسن مدينه، لازم ميديسن في مدينه.
الرياض مثلا، ميديسن الرياض، سيرجري الرياض، اوفتا الرياض، كويس. جاء واحد ثاني، خلينا لا الاولى اوفتا ميديسن سيرجري عشان اوفتا عليه تنافس. جاء واحد ثاني قدم مثلا اوفتا بيدياتريك ميديسن.
ممتاز.
الرياض نفس الكلام.
ممتاز.
طبعا هو ما قبل في الاوفتا، هو درجته اعلى، الثاني اعلى، وما قبل في الاوفتا في الرغبه الاولى. وانا مقدم الرغبه الاولى ميديسن. زين، جيد. هو بينزل من الرغبه الاولى للرغبه الثانيه، فتساوينا على الميديسن. هل يقبل قبلي او
يس درجته اعلى منك؟ يس
يعني لو الرغبه العاشره يقبل. هذه النقطه. ممتاز. الجزئيه الثانيه في الماتشنج يا دكتور، هل فيها مثلا في المستشفيات تكون فيها كريتيريا معينه ان الجي بي اي او كذا ما يحسب ضمن
كل مستشفى بكيفه،
على كيفه يرسل القائمه على كيفه؟
كل مستشفى بكيفه. بعضهم طالع في الاسماء يرتبها الفابيتيكلي يحط لها رانك، بعضهم يشوف الجي بي اي، بعضهم we do not go into that. في الاخير انت تقول للمستشفى انت رتبهم حسب اللي ترغب انك تدربه. في واحد اشتكى قال يا اخي المستشفى هذه كل سنه يحطوا البنات والشباب بعد. that's their problem. روح اشتكي الشؤون الاكاديميه عندهم، اشتكي المدير الطبي، اشتكي مدير المستشفى. we do not have to.
لا الهيئه ما تسوي شيء معهم. الهيئه
الهيئه تقول لهم شوفوا هذول المرشحين اللي عندكم رتبوهم، خذ هذا اللي تسوي. ايش الكراتين اللي هم يرتبوهم عليها؟ في ناس فوق البروجرام دايركتور، في اكاديميك افيرز، في مدير طبي، في مدير مستشفى. those are the people you go to.
يعني على كذا يا دكتور اذا كان لك انت
في الله فوقنا كلنا سبحان. عاد we don't go to those details.
طيب انا في عندي استفسار اللي هو طلعت على الدفعه السابقه لنا اللي هو الفريست ماتش، وطلع عليه كلام كثير وكنا متوقعين ان معدل الدرجات بيوصل الى حد معين، طلع اعلى ما توقعنا بكثير. بعدين الشباب يقولوا لا يوم حصل السكند ماتش الدرجات نزلت. فانا ابغى ايش اليه او فكره الفريست ماتش يعني.
ما ادري ايش الدرجات هذه هرجه هذه.
لا يعني مثلا ناخذ مثال، مثلا قبل سنتين مثلا كان النسيزي 40 درجه، بعد يوم طلع الفريست ماتش وصل 67. فشفنا في تصاعد عجيب كان في الدرجات.
في خلط الان، ما في اي علاقه بين الماتش وبين الدرجه. الان الترشيح السنه الماضيه اللي اعلن اللي رشحوا النومينيز في الفيز حق النومينيشن، اقل درجه نومينيتد للانستيزيا كذا، اقل درجه هذه ما لها علاقه بالماتش، هذه على مستوى المملكه. ومثلا يمكن الدكتور محمد اعلن قال اقل درجه لدبلوم الفاميلي ميديسن كانت مثلا 66. ترى هذه ما هي، يمكن في الرياض لو جبت 70 ما كانت في ابها. يعني اقل واحد رشح للفاميلي ميديسن دبلوم فاميلي ميديسن في ابها كان 66. بس في الرياض يمكن انت تجيب 76 وما ترشح. يعني keep that in mind. that's على كل المملكه. هذا شيء. ماتش اول ماتش ثاني that's a totally different story. يعني هذه ما له اي علاقه بالدرجات وطلعت ونزلت.
طيب هل بيطلع الدفعه السابقه اللي هم السنه هذه هل بيطلع لهم توزيع للدرجات مثلا الرياض الأورثوبيدي كم كان في الرياض، كم كان في جده، كم كان في ابها، نفس النظام السنه الماضيه ولا ما بيطلع لهم درجات؟
Because the purpose of that is to get to the next step of nomination. ما هو البيربس انه هذا البيربس. I wouldn't I was highly recommending انه no we shouldn't announce that.
لا بس عشان الواحد يعرف رغبته الاولى. مثلا ما ذكرت انت الرغبه الاولى راح تحطها مره واحده بعدين بتقفل، ما بدك تعدلها مره ثانيه. فمثلا انا لو جبت مثلا خلينا نقول جبت 83 انا ما اعرف نفسي، انا لو حطيت الأورثوبيديك هل بيمشي معي في الرياض ولا ما بيمشي معي في الرياض؟ ممكن يكون يوزلس احط لكن درجات اعلى من كذا بكثير.
انت this year you're competing with someone different from next year you're competing with. واستخدم الدكتور نشر مجموعه ارقام وموجوده it's been published already.
السنه الماضيه لكن السنه هذه انا حتى عليه ما كان في شيء.
لا السنه هذه ماشي. وما يفيد.
اللي هو النسبه الموزونه كم؟
لا لا we won't do that no. ما نشوف لا 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 أدخل أول رغبة unlock it according إنها رغبة. That's what إحنا we want to move إنه this score based ولا exam based approach. يا أخي حطها كرغبة، حط الرغبة الأولى رغبة أولى، وعندك 9 بعدها ألعب فيها يوم TID كل يوم 3 مرات في اليوم مغير فيها على كيفك.
Two small questions, very small. But yes.
تفضل تفضل.
One is regarding sponsorship. As no, when we should look for sponsorship, how we to look for it. Every special hospital have its own regulation. يعني أبدأ قبل ما تبدأ الامتياز، أبدأ وأنا أثناء الامتياز، أبدأ ما أهتم في الهيئة قبول الهيئة، متى أبدأ أدور سبونسرشيب في الوظيفة. second question اللي هو الريجوليشن الجديدة حقت الأونكولز، متى بتصدر، متى ممكن تطلع، متى تطبق علينا كامتياز. شكرا.
والله يا أخي الريجوليشن الجديدة احنا we sent a recommendation واخذنا الانبوت حق most of the specialties. بعضهم ردوا علينا مجالس العلمية، بعضهم ما ردوا، لكن مثل هذا القرار يتخذ لازم عن طريق المجلس الأمناء. احنا رفعنا التوصية الآن للمجلس التنفيذي. المجلس التنفيذي يضم جميع، لأن هذا شيء أنت حتلزم به الناس، ما تلزم به الناس until you have the buy-in from everyone.
متوقع دفعتنا اللي بنبدأ
لا إن شاء الله بيلحقكم لا تخاف.
واخر شيء السبونسرشيب اذا كان ممكن.
سبونسرشيب الهيئة السعودية للتخصصات الصحية لا علاقة لها بالسبونسرشيب. الهيئة ترشح على مقعد وظيفي. مثلا التخصصي السنة هذه عندهم 15 مقعد بيدياتريكس. دكتور سعود الشنيفي قال دق علي قال لي يا فادي أنا ما عندي البيدياتريكس إلا 10 مقاعد وظيفيا. عندي 10 وظائف. تدريبيا أنا ملتزم لك ب15 واحد. وظيفيا ما عندي الا 10. من ال15 اللي نعطيهم مين يوظف مين ما يوظف هذا رجع له. السنة هذه سووها مدينة الملك فهد الطبية ورجعوا مرة ثانية. لأنه خلي يوظف 20 واحد. الآن هو قائم عنده 20 واحد إلا خلي يوظفهم. إذا ما جاء له قبول جلس عنده موظف زي اللي يوظف معيد. وظف المعيد جالس عنده. راح ما قبل السنة هذه بورد. السنة اللي بعدها ما قبل بورد. خلي الموظف عنده موجود. سيرفيس اشتغل. لكن الآن they understood it. Okay, now we need to stop. صح كلامك. مدينة الملك فهد الطبية وكلمت الدكتور فهمي قلت دكتور what are you doing؟ stop. سووا براحتكم. بعدين فكروا قالوا لا هذه بس preliminary database احنا بنجمع الناس. بس الآن اللي عندهم موجودين المقبولين 20 it's very wise to give those people the job.
بالنسبه لعدد المقاعد لكل مستشفى لكل تخصص، يعني مثلا الحرس نشوف كم عنده مقعد جي اس ريزيدنسي كتريننج مو كوظيفه. هل في امكانيه اعرف الشيء هذا؟ هل الطريقه منكم انتم ولا لازم اروح للحرس اسالهم هناك ولا؟
والله هذه ما تنعرف الا قبل بدايه الماتشنج، لانه ما هي اتس نوت فيكست. السنه هذه بيدياتريكس عندنا 15 مقعد، القبول السنوي عندنا 15، لكن من السنه الماضيه نسبوا 3 فصارت 13 صارت 12 لانه في 3 باقي R1. يعني انت حتدخل R1 هم معك R1 بس صح انه من السنه الماضيه. ف there is no fixed number. We can't announce fixed numbers لانه في announce قلنا 15 في التخصصي اطفال وما قبلنا رشحنا الا 12. انتم حتروحوا تشتكوا في ديوان المظالم ولي العهد لكن هذه الاشياء اللجنه المحليه ما هي الهيئه اللي تحددها عموما. اللجنه المحليه ترفع لنا تقول انا السنه هذه في مدينه الملك فهد الطبيه لن يستطيعوا استيعاب اكثر من 10 اشخاص. صح انه عندهم اعتراف ب15 بس لن يستطيعوا استيعاب اكثر من 10 عشان ما ياثر على جوده التدريب.
هذا تعلنونه في الموقع عندكم؟
ما تعلن هذا.
يعني لازم اروح المستشفى بنفسي اسال لما اعرف يعني.
اذا هم عرفوا اخليهم يقولوا لك. بس انت ما حتدخل انت في مرحله ترتيب المراكز، لسه انت بتروح تسوي انترفيوز في المراكز يجيب الله خير وقتها.
We'd like to thank Dr. Fadi.
الله يسعدك دكتور يوسف.
And give us his time and his thoughts about the acceptance criteria for Saudi Commission this next year. This